Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back. I am making this video in response to one of my YouTube friends' request to talk about the Archangels visit. Now before I do that, I'd like to tell you that the entire activity is not my original idea. I also learned it from another content creator here on YouTube, and I'm going to link her video in the description box. Now this is going to be a bit of a chatty video, so I'm going to ask you to grab a cup of coffee, hot chocolate, or any preferred beverage that you'd like to drink while you listen to me talk. So first, I'm going to share with you the requirements for hosting the Archangels. The first is to have a clean home. Now this makes sense because even if we are expecting human visitors, we also clean our homes and get it ready for company. Requirement number 2 is to have fresh flowers. Now, in the original video, I believe it requires us to have white flowers, but sometimes fresh white flowers are very hard to find. So in my case, I would get the prettiest fresh looking flowers in the store if I could not find a decent bunch of white fresh flowers. I sometimes pick out yellow flowers, sometimes they're pink, sometimes they're red, orange, whatever that's available to you at your stores, you can pick that out. I've never had an Archangel complain about the color of the flowers that I have during one of their visits. Now, the third requirement is to have a fresh fruit. Now, this is another thing that I find hard to keep fresh on the altar. So instead of fresh fruit, I would just have a little baggie of snacks. Sometimes it's a bag of pretzels. You don't have to have a lot. I just put like 3 to 5 pieces of pretzels in a Ziploc bag. Sometimes it's chocolate chip from leftovers from baking, or sometimes something like this, a little piece of bite-sized chocolate, and I would set it on the altar. So I think we're on number 3, right? So first, clean home. Second, flowers. Third is the edible. The fourth requirement is that you have to have a list of 3 wishes. First wish is for yourself, second is for your family, and the third is for the world. You just have to write it down on a clean sheet of paper, fold it towards you, and set it on the altar. I just prefer to have mine in an envelope and set it on the altar, but you can just put that list on the altar as it is. You don't have to put it in any fancy envelope or something like that. The last requirement is to have lighted candle at all times for the duration of the visit, and that's when the 7-day pillar candle comes handy. I usually get mine at the Dollar Tree, and if you have been following me for a while, you know that I always buy this. So I prefer the blue candles because from what I learned, Archangel Michael's light is sapphire blue, but there's really no specific color that's required to have on your altar for the visit. So if you want white candles, use that, or whatever colored candles you have at your home, use that. Now, if you are leaving your homes at a certain period of time and you don't feel safe to have something like this burning, you can switch to a battery operated candle. Now what I do is I turn this on first before I blow out the light on the candle. That way there's no certain amount of time that there's no lighted candle in my home. So those are the 5 requirements. Now, why do we like to have the Archangels over, or why do we like to host them? The answer to that is there are certain situations that my family and I have to go through. For example, my husband or I would have to go through a medical procedure, or we have a scheduled job interviews, or sometimes one of us has to go through MRI. Those are the situations or scenarios that we fully believe that we would benefit from having the archangels over, because they do give us an extra boost of support, extra boost of strength, and extra boost of energy just to go through those challenging days. But I would also like to say that you don't have to wait for a special occasion or special event to happen before you start hosting the archangels at your home. Alright, now that I've already told you the requirements and the possible reasons why you'd like to invite or host the archangels at your home, I'm going to ask you to click on the link to Lauryn's video, because in that video she takes you to a detailed process of the entire activity of hosting the archangels. And if you ever decide to do this at your homes, please come back to this video and let me know in the comment section what you have noticed during the whole time that the angels are in your home. Tell me about the signs that tells you that they are there. Tell me about what happened, or if your wishes were granted, or what were the prayers that were answered. Alright, my friends, I am the Urban Witch. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I will see you again on the next one. Bye!